Today's lesson is Michelle Yeoh, Breaking the Glass Ceiling. Hi everybody, I'm Roger.
Hello, I'm Kiki.
And today we're going to continue talking about Michelle Yeoh. You may have heard that back in March she won the Academy Award for Best Actress, and that was significant because she broke the glass ceiling for Asian actors in Hollywood.
Yes, and Michelle Yeoh, she is an actress that I really admire because not only is she a great actress. She's very well-rounded. She does action, drama, comedy, but at the same time, she does a lot of very charitable work as well, and she's very vocal about a lot of social issues. So today we are going to continue to learn more about some of her past acting history.
That's right. Before we said farewell to you last time, we talked about some of the movies she starred in back in the 90s. Tomorrow Never Dies. And then in 2000, she was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And since that time, she has gone from strength to strength. And we'll talk about her continuing career in today's lesson. So let's get to it. Let's read the first part out loud, and then we'll come back to talk about it.
The late 2000s and the decade that followed marked a flurry of activity for Yeoh, who appeared in numerous films including Memoirs of a Geisha, 2005, Kung Fu Panda 2, 2011, and Crazy Rich Asians, 2018. Though Yeoh began to branch out into other genres during these years, she continued to star in action films, earning the top spot in Rotten Tomatoes' ranking of the greatest action heroines of all time.
大家好，我们来看第一部分中的单字 genre。它是名词，意思是文学、电影、音乐等的类型或是题材、风格。例如 Helga likes all film genres except horror. Helga 喜欢各种类型的电影，除了恐怖片之外。下一个我们来介绍名词 ranking， 它的意思是排名或是名次。例如 Lionel used to be very lazy.But now he is the top-ranking student in his class. Lionel 过去曾经很懒惰，但他现在是班上成绩排名第一的学生。
Okay, so in the first paragraph, we're talking about the late 2000s.And during that time and the decade that followed marked a flurry of activity for Yeoh, who appeared in numerous films, including Memoirs of a Geisha in 2005, Kung Fu Panda 2 in 2011, and Crazy Rich Asians in 2018. So we're talking about a flurry of activity. A flurry of just means a lot of activity. And again, she was appearing in all sorts of movies during that time.
So just like I mentioned previously, she has tried her hand at many different types of genres of movie. And here we see Memoirs of a Geisha, which is a very dramatic film. But then we also have some animation with Kung Fu Panda. And of course, Crazy Rich Asians is another one of those films that was a breakthrough in Hollywood because that was another really important film in representing the Asian community. This next part we see, though Yeoh began to branch out into other genres during these years, she continued to star in action films, earning the top spot in Rotten Tomatoes ranking of the greatest action heroines of all time.
Okay, so here, if you branch out, that means you try different things and you try all sorts of different fields.And if you're an actor, of course, you branch out into other genres of film, not just action films, but also maybe dramatic roles or voiceovers for cartoons and stuff like that. So those are different genres, which again could be action movies, romance, science fiction, etc. Those are different genres. And of course, she continued to star in action films.And of course, as you know, if you want to rate films or if you want to find out how good a film is, you can consult this website called Rotten Tomatoes, and this particular place ranks movies. They basically tell us if it's a good movie or a bad movie, and a ranking, of course, is a listing of how good something is in a list compared with other items. So she was ranked. She became recognized as the greatest action heroine of all time.
And genres can also refer to different categories or groups of things. For example, storybooks, different genre of books, different genre of games. So just different types of something, different types of game, type of music, and types of books.
Right, so remember, a hero is a strong man, and a heroine is a strong woman who leads lots of people and is a hero, basically, at the end of the movie. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's move on now to the second part and bring Michelle Yeoh's career up to the present.
Despite her age, Yeoh has not slowed down. In 2022, she starred in the wildly popular Everything Everywhere All at Once, a role for which she won the Best Actress Oscar in 2023. She also recently appeared in the upcoming Disney Plus series, American-Born Chinese, and will soon appear in the Netflix series The Brother's Son and the film adaptation of the musical Wicked. And she has no plans to stop there.
第二部分介绍介系词 despite， 它的意思是尽管或是虽然。例如 Jessica continued to hike despite the rain。 尽管下着雨， Jessica 还是继续徒步健行。又或者说 Despite being tired, David still played tennis with me all afternoon。 尽管很累， David 还是跟我打了整个下午的网球。下一个我们看到形容词 upcoming， 这个字的意思是即将到来的或是即将发生的。例如 In the upcoming year, Jeff is planning on starting his own business. 在即将到来的一年， Jeff 计划要开创他的事业。或是 The press expects the upcoming election to be close. 媒体预期即将到来的选举将会不分轩轾。接下来我们看到名词 adaptation， 这个字的意思是电影或者剧本等的改编，也可以是适应的意思。例如 The movie I saw was an adaptation of a true story about a family in America. 我看的那场电影是关于一个来自真实美国家庭的改编故事。或是 One adaptation of this play gives the animal characters the ability to speak. 这出戏的其中一个改编版本是让动物角色都有开口说话的能力。另外补充这个字的动词 adapt, A-D-A-P-T, adapt， 它的意思是改编或是适应。例如 It is rumored that the writer's latest novel will be adapted into a 3D movie. 谣传这个作家最新的小说将被改编成一部 3D 电影。或是 It didn't take long for Alicia to adapt to the warmer weather in Taiwan. Alicia 没有花很多时间就适应了台湾较温暖的天气。
Okay, so the second part begins by saying, despite her age, Yeoh has not slowed down. So here we've got the word despite, and despite means even though something is the case, even though she is older now, she's 60 years old, and usually in Hollywood, people don't really want to hire you for any jobs if you're over the age of 30 or something like that. They just love young people there. But despite her age, even though she is 60 years old, she has not slowed down. She continues to work hard, and she still gets some pretty good roles, despite being over 60.
Another example is Michelle Yeoh. Despite being a woman, she has shown great accomplishments in the action film genre.
Right, so she continues to star in those action films. She's quite skilled in the martial arts, and she probably will be for quite some time. And just last year, in 2022, she starred in the wildly popular Everything Everywhere All at Once, which, of course, was the most talked about film at the Oscars this year. I think Jamie Lee Curtis was in that movie as well, along with Ke Huy Quan, who won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. And again, she starred in this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and she won the Oscar for her performance in that film.
She also recently appeared in the upcoming Disney Plus series, American-Born Chinese, and will soon appear in the Netflix series, The Brother's Son, and the film adaptation of the musical Wicked. And she has no plans to stop there. So even though she just won Best Actress at the Oscars, she still has a lot of projects that she's doing. So here we see the word upcoming. And when something is upcoming, it's an event or it's a project that's going to happen. It's been planned to happen. So we're going to see it in the future. And we see that she's going to have a new series on Disney Plus called American Born Chinese. And American Born Chinese is usually how we describe somebody with the Chinese ethnicity that is born in America. But there are actually other terms to describe other Chinese people that are born in other Western countries. For example, CBC, Canadian-born Chinese, or BBC, British-born Chinese. And you can also have American-born Koreans and American-born Vietnamese. So I believe this series is going to tell us more about the life of American-born Chinese families and kids and show us the life that they live when they immigrate to America.
Right, so she's rolling along with her career. She's going to be in this upcoming Disney series, American-born Chinese, and she'll also appear in the Netflix series, The Brother's Son, and the film adaptation of the musical Wicked. A musical, of course, is a performance on stage where they act and they sing. And there are, of course, lots of musicals like The Phantom of the Opera and The Lion King are famous musicals that you can see if you go to New York. And, of course, a lot of times they are adapted into a movie. So a film adaptation is basically the film version of something that was done in another form before. It could be a film adaptation of a novel, and in this case, it's a film adaptation of a musical called Wicked, which I haven't seen. And she has no plans to stop there. She's still going strong at the age of 60.
So when you have no plan to stop something, it means that you're not giving up. Just because you've accomplished a lot of things, you're still going forward. There are still a lot of things that you would like to achieve.
Right, so back to this word adaptation. That's, of course, from the verb to adapt, which means to modify something into a different form. And don't confuse that with the word adopt. That means to take on a certain kind of action for yourself, or to adopt a child, or to adopt a dog, etc., etc. And this is an adaptation, which is a film version of the musical Wicked. And, of course, she's going to get more and more roles as time goes on. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's listen now to the third part.
Yo will continue as a trailblazer, inspiring future ambitious actors, especially those who are bolstered by Asian representation in Hollywood. For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope and possibilities. This is proof that dream big and dreams do come true, Yo said as she held the award and her head high.
最后介绍第三部分的形容词 ambitious， 意思是富有野心的或是有抱负的。例如 Several ambitious young actors came to audition for the film. 许多野心勃勃的年轻演员来试镜这部电影。最后一个例句 If you are ambitious, you will do well in this company. 如果你有抱负，就能在这个公司里有所表现。
Okay, so here it says Yo will continue as a trailblazer, inspiring future ambitious actors, especially those who are bolstered by Asian representation in Hollywood. Now, a trailblazer is somebody who goes out on a trail for the first time. They're like a pioneer, basically. In any case, she's a trailblazer for Asian actors. She's a role model, and people look up to her if they want to be successful in acting.
And a trailblazer, you can really think of it as creating that path for others behind you. So she's really setting that path and encouraging others with the same dreams to follow in her footsteps or even achieve more than what she laid the foundation for.
Right, so she's a trailblazer. Of course, there will be people following after her on this trail. And of course, she's inspiring future ambitious actors. If you are ambitious, that means you have a lot of strong desire to be successful in the future. So we've got a lot of ambitious actors who want to follow in her footsteps. And there, of course, are those ones who are bolstered by Asian representation in Hollywood. So here we've got the word bolster, and that just means they're encouraged or they're supported by Asians in Hollywood. They're getting better roles all the time. They're encouraged now, and they won't be afraid to try out for some significant roles in Hollywood films.
So Michelle continues by saying, for all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope and possibilities. This is proof that dream big and dreams do come true, Yo said as she held the award and her head high. So here we see the word beacon of hope. And basically what a beacon is something that is set up to give a warning or a celebration. So for example, a beacon could be a lighthouse which boats can see from afar and they know that they're getting closer to shore. But in this case, a beacon of hope is something very positive because she has created a signal or she's put a light somewhere far away for these ambitious actors and actresses and all these minorities. They see this hope, they can feel hopeful, and they can head towards this beacon.
The word beacon sounds kind of like the word bacon. Bacon is a kind of meat that comes from a pig. It's kind of salty and it tastes good on sandwiches and things like that. But don't confuse the word bacon with the word beacon. Again, that's a bright light. It's a signal of hope and possibilities. And yes, indeed, she's talking about little boys and girls who look like her, in other words, who are Asian. And now they've got this hope, they've got this role model so that in the future, they'll probably be able to get more significant roles in Hollywood. And she also goes on to say, this is proof that dream big and dreams do come true. Indeed, if you have a dream, it might come true. It may or may not. But if you keep pursuing your dream, there's a good chance that you will become successful. I think she also mentioned something about her age as well during the acceptance speech, that she is 60 years old and receiving the Oscar as well. So that could be encouraging for older people as well of any race.
And I think this is very important because in the past, we have seen a lot of Asian actors. They were not able to get very significant roles, or they would be typecast or have stereotypical roles such as playing doctors or playing math nerds and things like that. And in fact, even in earlier days in Hollywood, there were lots of Asian roles that were not given to Asian actors. They were played by other Caucasian actors. So we definitely see this progress that Hollywood is making. And this time, seeing Michelle Yeoh win the Oscar for such a significant award, it's really important for a lot of young kids to know that their dreams, if they follow it and chase it, and it can really come true. So as she's telling us about this beacon of hope, she held the award and her head high. So usually we can say to hold your head up high is to be proud of something that you've achieved. Or sometimes, even if you don't achieve something, but you tried your best, you can still hold your head up high because at least you've tried your very best. And in this case, there's kind of a double meaning because not only is she holding the award very high to show everyone this achievement she's made, she's also showing how proud she is of what she's accomplished and to make people feel encouraged.
Indeed, and I'm encouraged myself to go out and see this film. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's probably not in the theaters anymore, but you can certainly probably watch it on some sort of movie platform on the internet. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher, Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第二部分它用到 film adaptation 来表达电影改编。那么 adaptation 这个名词呢，它除了指电影剧本等等的改编，它也有适应的意思。那它的动词 adapt 就可以表达改编或者是适应。不晓得同学们有没有曾经把 adapt、adopt还有 adept 这三个单字搞混呢？那我们试着来区分这几个容易混淆的单字吧。首先第一个是 adapt， ADAPT。 好，从它的字首字根来看，这个字首 AD 就表示朝向，在这边带有强调的语义。那么字根 APT 它表示适合符合。其实 APT apt 它本身就可以当形容词去形容适当的、恰当的或是合适的。同学们可以想象，要使某人或某事物变得合适，朝往适当的方向发展，这个中间呢就会需要经过改造调整。那用这种方式也许就可以联想到 adapt， 它是指适应、使适合或者是改编。好，第二个是 adopt， ADOPT。 这个单字里面的 OPT 当动词可以表达选择、挑选，尤其是指优先选择了某事物。好，那当我们要采纳某个方法或是采用某事物时，是不是就会做出选择呢？还有像要领养动物时，我们也会去挑选最适合自己的宠物。所以同学们也许就可以用 opt 挑选的意思去联想到 adopt， 它有采用、采纳或者是收养的意思。那第三个则是 adept， ADEPT。它可以当形容词或名词。当形容词呢，是表示熟练的、擅长的、内行的。那么当名词可以表达能手、行家。同学们就可以把这个其中的 E 去跟 expert 专家或者是 excellence 优秀杰出来做联想。好，那么课文第三部分第一句他提到，杨紫琼将持续作为开路先锋，激励未来有抱负的演员。他就写到 especially those who are bolstered by Asian representation in Hollywood。 那这边用到 those who 加动词，是指凡是点点点的人，那些怎么样怎么样的人。其中的 those 就是指 those people， 那些人。那么后面接 who 引导的关系子句来修饰这个先行词 those， 那就可以描述出是那些怎么样的人，凡是怎么样的人。要特别注意，关系子句里面的动词要用复数型哦，像 those who are allergic to seafood， 凡是对海鲜过敏的人， those who don't eat meat， 不吃肉的人等等。好，那补充一下 those who 加上动词，其实也可以把它简化成 those 加上分词 VING 或 PP。 也就是说，我们把这个关系代名词 who 省略，然后把它后方的动词改分词。这个动词如果是主动，我们就改成现在分词 VING， 被动就改成过去分词 PP。 所以像课文里面他写到 those who are bolstered by 点点点，这是属于被动用法，那就可以简化成 those bolstered by 点点点。好，那以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Genre. I'm not a fan of that genre of music, since I prefer more cheerful varieties. Ranking. The magazine's ranking of the top universities changes every year. Despite the heavy rain, Clara still went for her morning run. Upcoming. I'm excited for the upcoming concert next week. Adaptation. The movie was an adaptation of a popular novel and stayed true to the original story. Ambitious. Chloe has always been an ambitious person, constantly setting new goals and working hard to achieve them.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Here's our discussion starter for today. The question is, what impact do you think Michelle Yeoh's win at the Academy Awards will have on Asian representation in Hollywood?
Well, for me personally, Asian representation in Hollywood has been very important because I myself is in this entertainment industry. And growing up, I've always loved watching films and television. And you never saw anybody that looked like you as a kid. You never saw a lot of Asian actors. Just like I mentioned before, when you do see Asian people on TV, they were either playing doctors or nerds at school. But now we're starting to be able to see these Asian actors doing more exciting roles, just like what Michelle Yeoh has done this time. And also previously, we've seen some other films with Randall Park where they can star star in their own rom-coms. So we're definitely starting to see a shift.
Right, and to me, while her win is no doubt a positive development, there is still much work to be done since there are other people of Asian descent in the United States that aren't represented either, like Indian Americans. I can't really think of any famous actors or actresses from India who star in Hollywood films. Of course, they're all over Bollywood films, but not so much in Hollywood. So, of course, we've still got to get some great roles for those people as well. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I am Kiki.
See you next time.